So, I thought today we would do something unthinkable. Obviously, you guys already know there's this weird deflation that's happening right now. I saw Huges be sold for 5 million gems. You know what that means, right? That means everybody at this point should be able to get at least one huge. This should be possible for a free-to-play player, correct? Well, I am on my alt account, which I use for free-to-play testing, and I like my pizza shirt. It is amazing. But you know what's even funnier and more amazing? I had somebody leave a comment saying, why is my videos, or pretty much all of my videos, a majority of my videos, if any video, have an abysmal amount of sound effects? Who doesn't want to hear an echo fart every 5 seconds? Or an ah every 3 seconds? Or anything that just sounds, you know, obviously a lot of fun. I know I do. We got the fun police out today! So this one's just for you. Oh my God! Okay, so number one, you're gonna notice that I have no gems on the left side of my screen. Clearly, there is no gem count on my screen. So we are going to be, quote unquote, starting poor, if that makes sense. Any huges that I had additionally added on my account have been retransferred to my main account. I am also rank 10. This is a very low rank system for myself and for a lot of players out there. The one thing I could really recommend if you want this to go by so much more quicker is at least getting 80 pets. And I only say this with a grain of salt because the more pets that you have, the more damage that you can end up doing, and the process is so much more faster. The only thing that I ended up transferring over was this little fossil fire thingy, whatever this dog, this wolf, this bow wow, a woo, whatever noise a wolf makes, okay? I figured I would just transfer this over because it's only worth 430,000 gems, which is, again, relatively really easy if you know what you're doing inside of the game. We also transferred anything over that would technically give me a ton of gems, which was the rainbow mini chest. This little guy I kind of forgot about, but he's just here, I guess. It's just chilling here. The mini chest is just here. But what I will be doing is basically turning on all item notifications just to kind of see what drops down. Oh my gosh, I just passed by it. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And obviously, the more higher the rank is, the better because you end up getting an additional enchant slot, which is extremely important for players that are free to play. The more that you have, obviously, if you unlock all of these all the way up to rank 20, the better. And it is definitely recommended, especially if you're just playing on one free-to-play account. Since I don't need fortune anymore, I don't really care about that, so I guess we'll just replace it with strong pets. So basically what we are going to try to do is try to figure out what are some ways that players out here can get gems relatively fast. So you guys are watching the gem count on my left side of the screen, and you guys are watching how slow it is. I'm basically making 1 gem per second. So let's say if I actually do get 1 gem per second, let's say it takes 60 minutes, right, for me to earn gems. That's like, what, 60,000 gems? And that's not gonna cut it for me. So of course, we need to figure out better ways in order to make actual gems inside of the game. And being in the last area is beneficial, but only if you have a ton of pets. If you don't have a lot of pets and you don't have game passes, stuff like that, it is going to take a little bit more longer. Clearly, like I said before, your rank does play a huge part in this. Okay, so I threw down 3 TNT and I was able to get 1,000 gems basically out of this, and I'll be quite honest, I am going to cry because this is actually really slow. So the pets are breaking things, but oh my gosh, it is so slow. It is like really slow. Like if I were to click on the breakables to help them, I guess that would actually help a little bit. And if I am using my ultimate over here, the pet surge, that does help them out just a tiny bit, but that just makes the breakables break a little bit more quicker because of the surge that's happening. So we do have to find other ways to actually make gems. And if you're gonna sit here for a little bit, you guys could see that there's no items actually dropping that are going to help me out in the long run. So of course, this is going to be a bit of a bust. I don't really have anything inside of my account, obviously, here that actually will help me out, clearly. But there's a ton of fruits that I have, which I transferred over. I should have transferred everything over, but you guys can get the picture. Like, the idea of just basically seeing everything is super duper slow. So is Fantasy World the way that you should go if you're a free-to-play account that is purely just here at a rank 10 or a very low rank, even lower than what I have right now? Probably not. It's going to take a lot more longer to do certain things here because of the lack of pets that you have and the lack of the rank that you do have. So I'm actually going to go ahead and transfer to a different world and see what we can do there. Okay, well, I moved over to the third third world here, and we're actually in Doodle Oasis. Now, what I'm going to try to figure out is what can we take advantage of here? Technically, I only need like, what, 5-6 million gems to get the cheapest huge that's in the game right now. Now, obviously, the gem count is going to be a lot more faster here just because of the fact that you are moving a little bit more quicker because of the world that you're currently in. Granted, it's still going to take a while because you don't get that many gems if you're a free-to-play player, clearly. But the items are what we're going to be paying attention to mostly. So if we're just chilling here, minding our own business, right? We're getting fruits, stuff like that. I mean, granted, fruits do take a very long time to actually sell, especially if you have like a ton of them, but people end up getting them because of the whole boosting that they end up giving, and obviously the mastery. Now, what I can't focus on, other than just kind of like sitting here, because obviously you guys can see the gems kind of going up, but again, this is going to take a very long time to actually do. Now, I'm going to be quite honest, I have not done this whole thing just because of the clown cat. It's been a very long time since I've been in here. All right, so room out of 20, 5% chance of losing. Oh, I don't care. Just put me in. Woohoo! Do I want all 50 of these and maybe sell them for 400 gems a piece and not make as much, or get a glittering charm and I could sell it and make gems that way? I want to do it. I got it. Okay, wait. Oh man, dude, what's better, a glittering or an XP charm? I mean, there's 15% that I might lose it. Let's leave. Okay, so I got one glittering charm. We'll put that inside of the thing as 133,000 gems. Now, the one thing I don't know if anybody does take advantage of, especially if you're free to play, and it does help out drastically, is paying attention to every single zone that you're in, especially your zone quests. I would start from the smallest, obviously going to the highest one, meaning that you're going to be starting where you need to start. So World 1 all the way up to where you can actually feel a little bit struggle, meaning that do all the quests in World 1, World 2, and World 3. World 4 is where you're going to kind of struggle, especially if you don't have enough pets to actually compensate for the amount of damage that you're doing. So I'm not going to try doing World 4. But over the accumulation of just me grinding my account, basically getting to a certain rank, I do have a good amount to basically go ahead and figure out what I want to buy. And in turn, I can go ahead and actually sell what I need to sell to actually find this whole huge thing. So which one would be more beneficial in the long run is what I'm thinking. So unironically, charm chisels do sell for a good amount. So I ended up buying just one, and once you do buy that one singular one, it does go out. So you can only buy one, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna pay attention to other things in here as well. And I think the most beneficial one might be the mini chests. I'll be quite honest with you guys. So I think I'm gonna end up doing that. And then I'm gonna buy 10 of these, and maybe that's about it. Okay, so I ended up buying this. That is what? That was 30 of them. So 184,000 gems a piece, or in total, 5,520,000 gems. So we'll have to write that down on top of our glittering charm for today. I know that was a pretty big jump. Obviously, this is basically where the video would end, right? We're like, hey guys, look at my huge now, let's go. But this actually does help out a lot, especially if you're just here chilling or going AFK. You just have to pay attention to when the quest is completed, basically. So it's like doing your ranks, but on top of your quests. That's about it. So other than actually paying attention to like the mini games here, I would honestly say the claw machine is actually really good so long as you have the tokens and you're looking for specific eggs. Okay, well, remember those 10 keys that I ended up buying? Well, we're gonna go ahead and try to use them. What we get out of it, I don't know, but I ended up getting 10 for free by just grinding. Okay, so I got a new key mastery from this. So I didn't get a huge, which is absolutely fine. I can use all this gear anyways, because, you know, I'm like basically baby on this account. So what else can we take advantage while we're inside of World 1? So I'm gonna be like completely honest. The dig site is probably one of the best places that you could actually pay attention to. I'll be real with you guys. And there's only one reason for this. If you have buckets, it is even better because you can grind and trying to get a ton of bucket of magic. Now, people turn this around and end up using it in the converting machine, which makes huge potions and stuff like that. But you also need to invest in actually getting buckets. Otherwise, if you don't have a ton of buckets, then you're just wasting your time. And to be quite honest, for me right now, unless you're really into just doing this stuff here, then obviously I usually avoid doing this unless it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, it's kind of feel like you're gonna be in here forever just trying to get a bucket or like magic goo, stuff like that. So unless you're really into doing the whole dig site stuff, then obviously this is definitely for you. But since I'm only level 4, it's gonna take me forever to be able to get anything really good out of this. The higher the mastery that you have for digging, the better. But what I do have high enough is my fishing. But fishing, again, like I said, for digging also takes time, and you might not get a huge, but you do get loot out of it, which does help in the long run. So we will chill here for a second to just basically see what we're able to get from just fishing, basically, so we can go ahead and move on to the next section. Okay, so I got a book, and I got a potion, and I got some coins, which don't really help us out because we're not hatching eggs in this zone anymore. And I got gems out of this one. I got 2 apples. I got more gems. I got 2 pineapples, and I got more gems. So this is really nice if you just want to go AFK and you don't want to actually worry about like grinding with your pets and stuff. This is really good so long as you do have the mastery for it. Okay, so we have a whirlpool here, and this is where you can get a chance of getting a huge and better stuff. So the only downside of this is you do have to actively be in the area where the little whirlpool is at, otherwise you don't get the benefits of it. Okay, so it looks like I got gems out of this one. No, it was 12,000 coins. Okay, so I got more coins out of this one. We don't need coins. I don't need coins. Okay, I got 5 apples this time, not 2. I got 5. Oh my gosh, dude, I don't need more coins. I don't need more coins. I got a buck. Okay, I got gems out of this one. So this was just like under 1,000 gems. I should be getting more of that instead of coins. I don't need more. Okay, I got more gems. Thank you. I got a potion. Okay, so this is going to be the last one. And then we're going to move on to the very next section. Okay, I'm done with the coins. Oh my God. Okay, so we are officially here now. And I can go ahead and actually start selling some stuff. Now, we're only allowed to sell what we were able to actually get. Now, let's see if I put this up for 180,000 even. I'm pretty sure it's going to sell even for wrap, and honestly I just want to go under wrap just a tiny bit. And what's that one little glittering charm that I ended up getting? Where are you at? There you are. Now what I do notice sometimes are people actually selling stuff for under wrap, right? But like extremely under wrap. And what people like to do is buy it and then resell it for a little bit higher. That is something that you can do, obviously, but since we are here trying to make some gems, I don't really have anything to invest in right now. I only have 32,000 gems, which is not a lot. So I can only work with what I have. All right, well, after quite some time, I ended up selling my stuff. Now is the journey of trying to find the huge for around 5 million gems or so. Now, because everybody wants to sell just a little bit overpriced, which I understand, it is a relatively cheap huge. It's gonna be a little challenging. Okay, so I don't see it here anymore. I teleported to 1 and I could not find it, so I'm gonna have to teleport again. Okay, so I made it to another one and I think it might be gone actually, yep, which is fine. We'll try to find another one. Oh my gosh, I'm just a little under. Oh no. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to try to find somebody else. Oh no, it's still too much. Oh my gosh, who would have thought trying to find a huge for 5 million gems was so hard? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, I found one. Oh my gosh, I actually found one. Holy cow, I actually got it. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Here he's right here. Oh my gosh, I got it. No way. Okay, I'm so happy right now. Okay, and I still have 141,000 gems to go ahead and mess around with. But what can you buy in order to just kind of invest in, right? Because there's really nothing you can technically invest in right now as we speak. Other than, honestly, if you do have gems over just kind of like how I do right now, it's super hard to say because you could technically make your chances and try to aim for an arcade token because people do sell this under wrap and try to get a ton of eggs, right? But you also have to remember you might not get the egg that you want. So that is one way again to try to invest in something that is worth your time. And the arcade token, the claw machine, is definitely one of those things. It's just you have to be able to enter the game. If you don't see an egg that you want, such as the 50 times, you have to exit out and re-enter it again and just kind of get the roll for the egg itself. If that doesn't work out for you, then obviously the 20 times, stuff like that. The higher the better, obviously. But for sure, if you put the time into what you're doing inside of the game, you can absolutely make a huge. The minimum, at least one a day, especially if you are free to play. And if you are inside of the plaza trying to sell some stuff, try to sell things that are more popular. I know some stat pets do end up selling, but you do have to have a great amount for people who care about it to become on the leaderboard. And this is for the power. You do need a lot in order for people to actually want to buy and care for. But if we're speaking about other items such as like apples, stuff like that, if you decide to go onto the plaza and buy a ton of apples, sure, you can make a lot of gems doing so, but you do have to find somebody who's like basically trying to level up their mastery, and you need a lot. You need a lot. You need so many apples, like so many. Another thing that you can do, and this is something that I do like to pay attention to, and very early in the morning and very late at night, are the auctions. There are some huges that I see actually be sold on the auction for 1,000,000 gems. So if you are one of those people that do like to flip things, auctions are your very best friend. But currently right now we are at 10 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, so right now is not the very best time to go ahead and do this. Obviously there is no right or wrong time to go ahead and pay attention to auctions, but you just have to get very lucky landing inside of a plaza that has a ton of people that are not really paying attention. And that's what you want. You don't want people to pay attention to the auction board sometimes. But I'm so happy that we were able to get our first, well, I mean, it's technically not our first huge, but like our earned huge that we did without doing too much crazy stuff. And this was just primarily paying attention to just the quest medals. Quest medals are a bit of a grind, obviously, but if you do accumulate enough and you have a good roll inside of your shop for items that you can go ahead and sell, take advantage of that. Absolutely. Every single day you might get something really good. So because huges are so low right now, under 6 million gems, I would find it super duper hard to believe that somebody is not able to go out onto the game and actually grind just for a little bit and be able to afford a huge. So hopefully you guys are able to come up with a method that has a benefit for you, whether you're free to play or pay to win. A huge is a huge, whether it be 6 million gems or a bajillion gems. They all do the same thing unless you're going into golden, rainbow, golden shiny, and rainbow shiny, obviously. The only difference is what you're spending your gems on. This one being only what, 5.6 million gems that I spent is the design versus something else that I would spend a little bit more on just because it's different. But in the long term of grinding and basically progressing side of the game, absolutely take advantage of the prices right now. Buy them 6 million gem huges because you're not going to see this unless magically somehow huges end up going down to 4 million gems. Who knows? You never know. But either way, maybe you guys can end up getting super duper lucky and getting a huge for like 5 or 6 million gems today. And obviously until then, let me know what you guys are doing to get huges inside of the game right now. Whether it be free to play, pay to win, I don't know. Let me know. And until then, I will see you guys all in the next video. Okay, bye.